Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what I'm doing today is going through all my darts. I've got about 8 different sets here, and I'll just run through the little particulars of all the sets, what I've accumulated over time, and I'll have a quick throw after we talk about them all, and I'll give you a close-up of them, and we'll talk about them all and which ones we do and don't like. So we'll start off with set number 1. Now, I'm going to show you the dart and look at the camera myself up there to see what you're seeing. So have a look at this. This is the Kmart dart. It is a very shiny dart, fat at the front, bit thinner at the back. It is brass. It's not very good. And I'm rolling with my own flight and stem on that. They're about an $18 dart. I think they're about 18 grams. Yeah, they're definitely not tungsten, they're brass. They don't come out of the hand well. That grip that you can see on there, you cannot feel that grip. That's non-existent. It's a very slippery dart. Like you can see it, just the grip. There you go, that's a bit better. Maybe if it's behind my black t-shirt, no, it doesn't make a difference. Because it's hard to see because it is so shiny. So that's a Kmart dart. Next in line, we have a cheaper version, not a cheaper, a slightly more expensive version of a crap dart. These ones are brass as well. I'll try and give you a backstory about each set as well. So the Kmart ones are actually a gift from my father-in-law to my son to get him playing darts, and he hasn't used them much, to be honest, but that's where they came from. This I bought as my own first set of darts when I was playing with my father-in-law's dartboard. When we rented his house from him with the dartboard that he put up, I bought this set from Rebel Sport because I didn't know where to buy darts anywhere online, or what was good and what wasn't. So this is them. They are fat. They're a big, fat, ugly dart. Similar to the other one, they're brass. There's what looks to be good grip, but it's not very good grip. But they're just a huge thing. They're about 26 grams and about $30, and definitely not my favorite. This one here is the Winmore Paul Nicholson, the Asset dart. So I have got a longer stem on these at the moment. So all up, it is a pretty long dart. They're like the cool blue. I'll try and get up there. It's got some slightly further apart grip there, some closer together, back to slightly further apart. Nothing and very much a barrel, a bullet style barrel that just stops there. And unfortunately, I've lost one of these. This was another one, probably my first proper set, along with the next set that I'll show you that I bought. And when you first get into it, you go through all the rage of watching the professional players and thinking, I want what they got. Then you start to branch out and realise that they're made for their throw. They're not made for your throw. That's the Paul Nicholson dart, about $88. That's the tungsten one. Now we start to get into the tungsten darts. So this is the next set that I bought. Well, I haven't got the other set that I bought first initially, was the Simon Whitlock dart. This was the Gen 1 before he moved to this set that I have now. But this is what I got now. This is tungsten as well, and it's the Whitlock one. And now I don't recommend ever purchasing anything like this because it's very specific. You see that notch in it there means there is only one spot for you to grip. I've never had my grip be there. So when I was using them in competition, I was actually gripping it back around that bit. And when I hold my dart, it's almost like that, but the thumb goes there. So it was just very weird to grip it. At the moment, I'm rolling with the clip-ons on this one. I was using these for a bit on my darts. They're not bad, the clip-ons. I don't mind them. But yep, Simon Whitlock dart, 24 grams. The Paul Nicholson's are 22. I don't know if I mentioned that. They did serve me well for a while. This is the first darts that I used. Not the first, probably the second set that I used in competition. But I was able to win 2 of these 2 weeks apart. I think you should be able to see the dates on there. No, I'm doing that wrong. 22nd of the 7th, 2017. And 6th of the 2nd. So it's only a couple of weeks apart. I hit in competition 180s. Now I'm at a level where I'm probably hitting 1 a day. So celebrating 2 in a season is not great. All right, what are we up to? Next one. This is my first branch out away from player darts. I bought these when we were on a trip around Australia, and I thought it was my birthday. no one was too sure what to get me. I thought I'll buy myself a nice set of darts. This is the Winmore Stratos. They are a 90% tungsten, and they're a strange setup. I don't know if you can see those numbers on there. Just not going to focus for me. What it is 95 up the front, 85 at the back. That was something to do with 85% tungsten at the back, 95 up the front, to give it a different way of flying. These are a very, very good dart. I really did enjoy these. I don't even know why I changed, but I did. But I still love them. They still are a very, very good dart. 24 grams again. The rest of my darts will be 24 grams. As I said, 90% tungsten. Very similar shape to a lot of my other darts. It's just a straight barrel down to a stop. Very similar to the Paul Nicholson darts. All right, these ones were, once I started doing my podcast, I started to branch out and try a few more things, because that's part of what I'm doing for that, is to just keep trying stuff and bringing more information. And yeah, the wind mount, and I also felt like the grip on those were going, when the darts keep clattering into each other, they're 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, those Stratos, so that will get rid of the grip. You cannot keep the same darts forever, because the grip will just keep hitting it and hitting the darts and clattering into each other along there and getting rid of the grip. But these are an incredibly very rigid gripped dart. Doesn't want to focus so much. You can see it enough there. 24 gram, 90% tungsten. And yeah, it's relatively grippy, but not like the ones that I'm going to show you next. The only problem with these was that bit there, it's just a bit with no grip, and I don't like it. I don't like the bit with no grip. All right, next ones. I changed from Winmore to Harrows. So what was happening to me was I was using a lot of the Winmore flights and stems, and every time I was hitting, let me get another dart, every time a dart would come in and clatter into it, no matter how hard it hit it, that stem was gone. And I was flying through flights as well. I was throwing out flights left, right, and center. For Christmas, my son, my good dear old son Chase, he brought me a pack, a little dart repair kit from Rebel, and it had the Harrows Super Grip stems and flights, and they were fantastic. I was hitting them. It was taking 4 or 5 good Robin Hoods to destroy a stem. So I then went on and bought what came on this dart and the next one, the Harrows Carbon Super Grip, and these things are elite. You'll see it on there. I won't show you the actual dart yet. They've almost got a matte look to them and a matte feel. But so this dart is the Harrows Magnum, and these were absolutely sensational. Sensational. The grip, you can't really see much grip on there, especially with it not focusing. It does have ring grip. When I first grabbed these, it was like grabbing high grit sandpaper. It didn't look like there was any grip. If you run your hands along it quickly, you can't feel it. But when I was throwing it, there was plenty there, and they were flying out the hand, and it was really, really good to start with. They're a 24 gram, 97% tungsten. The Magnum, it's a redo of an old classic, so it's called the Magnum Reloaded. They're $127. I don't think I gave the price of the Harrows, or maybe not even the Whitlock either. The Whitlocks are about 100, and the Stratos 139, I think, and 137 maybe. I've written it down, and I'll show you later anyway, the prices. But yeah, remake of a classic is what they advertise it as. You can see I've got the Harrows Ice Flights. That's probably a bit of a giveaway as to what my next set are. But I changed to Harrows, and I'm loving every minute of it. All right, my final set of darts, a 24 gram Harrows Ice Recut. So I was concerned initially, I think I've already done a video on them, about the blue, but the blue's definitely not overpowering. And I got rid of the special flights that they had and got these cool ones, Harrows Quantum with a clear strip down the middle. That looks really cool on the whole dart. Now that grip, once again, you can see it's slightly better than the Magnum Reloaded, and it definitely is there more so than the Magnum Reloaded. It's slightly fatter than the Magnum Reloaded, so initially when I got them, I was a bit like, oh, I've just gone from a couple of thin sets of darts because I didn't use the Vengeance for long, even though they are relatively thin. They're sort of almost like this, I'd say. But I went from the Stratos, which was really thin, to the Vengeance, which I didn't use for long, to the Magnum, which was really thin. So getting a thicker dart again, I was like, oh, how is this going to go? But pretty bloody happy so far. So that's my 8 sets of darts. What we'll do now, I'll change the cameras around and I'll just throw 1 or 2 sets with each dart, so just stick there with me while I move some cameras around and get ready to have a chuck. Not a chuck, but you know what I mean. All right, so we'll kick off with the Kmart brass darts, 18 grams. Barrel length of 54 millimeters. I didn't say that before because it's all written down now for me to run through with you. At $15. So I'll just throw probably 2 sets of each dart and just let you know how they feel. That's a ton. I didn't expect that to happen. But they feel like they're not really going to make the board, and it feels like the next throw is definitely not going to be the same as the one before. There's just no consistency in them. So that last one was probably the one that felt the best. They're very hard to grip. They don't fly well, but that's what happens with brass darts. They just don't fly the same. There's no grip to these. It's very hard to get a feel for it. And if there's one thing I hate in a dart, it's fat at the front. I cannot stand it. It does not feel right. I don't know how anyone does that. Now, we'll move on to the Rebel Sports. I'm pretty sure it was Rebel Sports. These are the big fat brass darts. So they're so fat, you get one anywhere near the 2020, you're not getting another one in there. And once again, super fat at the front, so I cannot get my hands to grip it how I would like, which is causing it to just go all over the place. And look, you can always get any dart to come out semi how you want. I tried to throw that last one a bit harder, but it just didn't come out in the hand right because, as I said, they're so fat. So, similar deal, I'll throw one more set. I cannot get the feeling of these. I wouldn't know how anyone would ever consistently throw something this fat and get anywhere near your target. So that is the Rebel Sports brass dart. So I'll throw definitely 3 sets of this, the Paul Nicholson ones, because I only have 2 of them. So these were, yeah, you can't see it because I've done them black, and that's silly of me to have it there. But the windmill, it's called the Asset, tungsten, 22 gram, 50 millimeter barrel. They're all very similar, my darts, especially after this one because this was 22 grams, $88. Whoa, that's dodgy as. But these are I've got them set up. I should have some shorter stems on these because they are very long at the moment and I don't throw with really long darts. So these are the only, don't really know what weight the Kmart and Rebel ones are. That's just what they kind of advertise. But these are my only 22s. I've never changed from 24 and I don't see the point in changing now. But those ones, they come out of the hand all right, as they're very thin and I'm not used to thin at the moment. These are the Simon Whitlock, the Wizard, the ones with the notch in them. So they're very different to anything most people would throw with that notch there. 24 gram, barrel length of 50. I've currently got the click-on flight, so that does change things a bit. So now I have to have my grip different to how I would normally have it because these darts just do that. So it's so much different throwing something like this when you're not used to it. But they come out straight still. Like every time I use these darts, I think I could try and change to these permanently because I normally get them at least straight. I don't normally get the height, the length we'll call it, but I normally have the line relatively okay on these ones. And I guess when the grip's there, it's making me throw more so. It's helping me to use my hand and wrist, keeping the rest of the arm still, which is almost ideal, isn't it? So that's 360s in a row. As I said, I can always get these to go pretty straight. But just for, I know I was only going to throw a couple. We'll change now. I'll try and hit double 10 because I've just done straight. So when you're just throwing robotically straight, you can get there. So we'll see what happens when I change. I'll go double 10, then I'll try and hit double 18 and tops. So that's a long way off, and pretty far off. So I can train myself to try and hit that. But with these ones, once it's then a change, I really struggle. All right. Next one. So this is, once again, we're on to the non-player darts, just the darts that the companies make, the proper ones that we can all get used to from there. The Stratos. So a 49 millimeter length barrel, one of the shorter ones that I have. $130, 24 grammer, 90% tungsten, with the strange old 95 at the front, 85 at the rear. $81. That first dart was in there perfect. Eh? As I said, these are still a very good dart. When I'm doing these videos, I'm never going to throw well because you keep changing darts. It's always going to be a struggle. But I do like these darts. They're good. That's poo. Maybe I don't like these ones. No, they're good. And with these clear fights, they look pretty cool. And it's always a bit of nostalgia. I wonder, why do they ever change? I really like them. But I can feel that the grip has gone on them. So you could always buy another set and see how you throw. But I think they always update them so you can't actually get the exact same ones. But who knows, the new ones might be awesome. The Windmau Vengeance, 90% tungsten. So these are the super grippy looking ones. 51 millimeters, so a little bit longer, 24 gram, price $139. So I think these are my most expensive darts, which was a bit of a shock when I saw that, because they strangely they feel weird. They feel almost cheap-like, even though they're not, and they are a half-decent dart. But I haven't thrown these ones for a long time, so we'll see how these go. All in the fives. I said, you're never going to throw well when you do this sort of thing. But they still come out all right. But just a little bit, I felt like they were a little bit inconsistent. I was always having one just not come out well. That's probably me to blame, not so much the darts. Like that, I was always having one do that, and it was really frustrating me. So they're still a little bit the same. I don't know. I don't know if it's the darts or if it's me. So these are the Harris Magnum. So these initially were the love of my life. I don't even know why I changed. I think why I bought the Harrows Ice, which is what I'm using now, is when I bought these, I actually wanted the Harrows Ice, but they didn't have 24 gram where I bought them from, Avid Darts. Ching ching. So I went with these because they had these in 24 and not the Harrows Ice. And I wasn't prepared to make that change to 22 grams. I was wanting to stay, and I thought, well, a lot of people are using the Harrows Ice, so I'll give these a crack. And initially, I just absolutely loved them. They just came out of the hand so well. $60. But I don't know, I feel like, see, one dropped real low, and I don't know if it's the grip on that or if it's, once again, just me being shit, but it does feel like the grip is not as good as it was at the start, once again clattering into each other, but that wasn't very long, so I can't have a dart going that shit that quick. Like, it was only probably 2 months between purchasing these and the other ones. $66, man. Wasn't far off being better, but as I said, yeah, definitely. I don't have the confidence in holding these ones anymore. It quickly dwindled. I didn't even realise it until I got the Harrow's Ice that I realised 180. We should probably change back. Look at that. That's the first one I've ever gotten on camera. Yeah, as much as I just throw 180, I just don't have the confidence in those ones potentially slipping out of my hand and going absolutely anywhere and everywhere. Right, the Harrow's Ice recut. This is the dart I'm currently using. So hopefully I can do better than what I just did. But yeah, 24 gram, 51 millimeter barrel length, $127. Slightly fatter than the Magnum and the Stratos, and probably it's very hard to see, to tell that from there, but they look pretty bloody similar in thickness, so I'd say they're about the same. But yeah, these are the darts I'm using right now, and they're not going too bad. Whoa. That's all right. The second two are all right. Yeah, I just have definitely more confidence in the grip in these ones that it's going to come out the same basically every time. So that's another 80. So more consistent with these ones. As I said, I threw a 180 with the other ones, but I also threw a couple of shocking throws. That one's still really close. That one's a bit low, which is a pain in the ass, but still close. So they're all, the grouping I get on these ones is better purely through the consistency. You'll see where that goes out, that little bit of cut blue bit. My thumb seems to rest somewhere around there pretty well. No, it must be up higher. And it gets to that spot every time more consistently. And I'm able to get it in my hand the same. Except that last one. You don't want them dropping that low, but yeah. So that's all my darts. We'll have one more throw while we wrap up. And there's a fair bit of money spent on darts here, but it's fun to try new ones and have a look and see how you go. As I said in my Improve Your Darts video, it's subtle little changes. So you don't see, you've got the Kmart. I'll grab the really random shit ones. You go from the start, not even mine, Kmart crap. I'll get rid of this text. Then you got big fat Rebel Sport ones that I only bought because I had no option but to go down and buy them, didn't know where to buy them. Then you got the Paul Nicholson one because I just love, I'm an Australian bogan that likes buying Aussie stuff. Then you got the Whitlock darts, we all love the Wizard, so we've copied what he did. So they're all very different. Then you go to everything else that I have, and you got the Stratos, Vengeance, Magnum, Ice. Bugger all different. I don't change weight. I don't change stem length. So at the moment I'm in the in-between. And yeah, there's very, very little change. Very subtle changes, little changes. It's too expensive to change something so drastic unless you get to that professional level where you can have someone study your throw and go, you need this, you need this, you need this. We can all work on it ourselves. And if you have a very, very solid throw that goes really fast, you probably need lighter darts. If you've got a nice, smooth, relaxed throw, something heavy is normally pretty good, but it doesn't really matter. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Shape is such a tricky thing until you start using it. That's why it's good to have some shit ones. As much as I said, these aren't quality darts, so they're not going to fly well at all. I can't even grip them. I cannot grip with the fat there. This finger doesn't know where to go, and I've almost got to throw it with 2 fingers because I cannot grip it. So make those subtle, small changes. Don't do it too often because it's expensive. They're my darts. It's all a bit of fun. As I said, there's only windbow and harrows there. We'll bring in some more stuff soon, some different types, and revisit and see how they all go.